Hello and welcome to this tutorial on getting ToonBoom Animations into Unity. To start us off, I've gone and downloaded the Wishling example file that Harmony provides you with, and I've gone and opened the Wishling stage. Okay, so let's go and do that. Wishling. Okay, so when starting with a game character, it's important to have your base file just be the rigged character with no animation on it. And so this way, when you go and make a new animation, what you do is you go File, New, Save as New Version, and here you give it a name like Punch. Okay, and if you click on the drop down, you'll be able to see your other animations. Click OK, and yes, I've already got that one. Okay, so now you can't see it in the video, but on the top left, you'll see Wishling version Punch. Okay, and what that's telling you is that the root animation is Wishling, and the animation you're currently working on is Punch. Okay, so now if we want to export this, so I'm going to go and grab File, Open, and we'll go and grab Idle. And once this animation is open, I'm just going to go play it, and it's just a nice little bounce. Okay, so to export this to Unity, we're going to need the game toolbar. If you don't have this open, you right click here, and it's the third option down, you select game, and then the third button along, not the one with the red logo on the top, just the plain one. If you click on it, it'll open this window. Okay, we're going to need to go and make a folder for it, and I'm going to call it Wishling. And what you call this folder is what the animation or the character will be called once he's imported into Unity. You can change it later inside the engine, but it's nice just to set it up now. So there's the Wishling folder. We're going to select that folder, and it's now selected over here. The important thing is to not give anything in this window here, the asset name. Leave that completely blank. It's going to use the ToonBoom naming convention, which was up in the top left, Wishling Punch or Wishling Idle. So when you export it, it'll give it the Wishling underscore and then the animation name. So it'll be Wishling underscore idle for the situation. And if we export it, it'll take a little while, not too long. Okay, and if we go and open our next animation, now it's important that you use the file open here because it needs to know that you're working inside the Wishling file. So I'm going to go and grab the run. It's just good working convention if you start with the idle because it's your first animation, and then generally the second animation is your run. So I'm going to go and just go straight up to the export button, click on it, and you'll now see that it's still got the same folder. This is still blank, and our Wishling idle is now being detected. Okay, so again, just click straight on export, don't need to change any settings, and it'll now have a Wishling underscore run. Okay, while this is busy, I just want to talk about this delete existing clips. Okay, make sure that you don't check that. It won't delete the current animation you're working on, it'll delete them all. Okay, so I'm going to go and grab our jump as the next one. And if I click on export, you'll now see that those two animations are being detected. And I'm just going to use those three. I have no need of anything else than those three for this demonstration. Okay, so we're going to hop across to our Unity example scene that I've set up. There it is. And now, the first thing you're going to do, if you don't already have it, is to grab the Harmony Game SDK from the asset store, just download and import. And once it's in your game, you go Game Object, Harmony, and grab a Harmony texture object. And go to the Wishling file that you made. So Wishling, and then we'll select the Wishling file that we just made. Select it, and you'll now see here under your hierarchy, if you double click, you'll be taken to it, but you won't see anything. And this is a known bug with the Harmony SDK. If you just switch between game and back to the scene, you'll be able to see it. And it's really, really big, so I'm just going to take it down to 0,01, 0,01. Double click on it again, and it will be here. So I'm just going to take it across over to where my camera is. And I'm actually going to take it down a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, so he's over here. And if we go and switch between our game and our scene, see that it's nicely working. Okay, so now just to see if our animations came through, we can click here, and under the clip names, you'll see our 3 animations here. And if we want to see if they're working, we can go and add the loop all script that Harmony's added. And if we click play, it should loop through all of our animations. There we go. Okay. Okay, so the next step now, we want to only play specific animations for our characters to run around and all of them. So to do that, we're going to go and add the play animation harmony script, which I've written, and you'll be able to get that in the links down below, or for my students, it's on the student server. And you'll see it looks exactly like the loop or, but it has a clip section here. So now when we click play, you'll see that under clip names, it's got element 0, 1, and 2, and that pretty much is just referring to where the animation sits on the list. So if we go and play animation 1, that's our run. If we went to go and play animation 2, it's our jump. Okay, so back to 0, and that's our idle. Okay. But we want to do that inside of an animator, and an animator is the Mechanim system that's inside of Unity, and that lets us easily switch between the animations. So to do that, we're going to go and grab our window, animation, or Control 6, it'll open this window here. And if we make sure that you've got to be clicked on the item that you want to animate, and if you click create, it'll create an animation and an animator, which we'll come back to later. Okay, we're going to give the animation a name. I'm going to call it wishlink_idle, because it's the first one you want to start with. And I'm giving it the wishlink_ just to differentiate it from if you had any other characters inside your game. So I'm going to go and save that out. Okay, and now we have an animation called wishlink_idle. What we can do is we can click on the record button, and if we go and change this number, you'll see that it changes red because it's recording that. So I'm going to go and just set that back to 0, and you'll see over here, if we expand this out, it now says clip is equal to 0, and if we stop recording, that animation is now recorded. We can go and create a new animation by going new clip, and we're going to call this one wishlink_run, and do the exact same thing. Click record, set that to 1, and stop recording. Now, if you somehow want to change the clip, you can just double click here, you can record again, or you can just double click here and change the number. So there you go, nice and simple. Okay, so I'm going to go and do that for the final animation, create new clip. I'm going to call this one wishlink_jump, and do the last animation. Okay, so now we want to go across to our Mechanim system. So we do that by going Window, Animator, okay, and this is the Mechanim system. And you see that it's already added our animations here. So, and it's set idle as our default because it's the first one we set. So if we click play, you'll see it'll loop through the idle animation, which is perfect. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to be able to switch between the idle and the run when he's moving. So to do that, we go to our parameters, and we can set speed as the conditional. And I'm going to go right click here, make transition, and go to run. And then from run, I'm going to make a transition back to idle. Okay, so I'm going to select the arrow that goes from idle to run. And I don't want this to blend between the two animations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take exit time off, and I'm going to minimize the amount of blend time between the two animations down. And then I'm going to set the conditional speed. If it's greater than 0.1, so the moment he starts moving, it'll go straight into the animation run. And then I'm going to do the opposite by clicking on the arrow that goes between run and idle. And I'm just going to shorten this blend down. And I'm going to take the conditional in the reverse. I'm going to say if it's less than 0.1. Okay, so now that we have that done, if we click play, you'll see that it's looping through the idle. And if we click 1, if we set the speed to 1, you'll see he'll start running. Okay, back to 0, he goes back to the idle. Again, there's no blending. Now we want to add a jump and make our character actually walk around a game. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab a rigid body 2D, give him some mass. Okay, and we're going to just go and use the default settings, freeze the rotation so he can't fall over, interpolate, and that should be good enough. And then we're going to go and grab our 2D platformer 2D user controller. Okay, that automatically adds two scripts. Okay, the user control, which you can't change, and the platformer character 2D. And this is where we do all of our character settings, how high you can jump, how fast you can run. We're going to give him air control, and we're going to set everything to be the ground. Okay, and we're going to go and give him a collider. I'm just going to give him a 2D capsule collider. Just make it a bit smaller. Yeah, that should do it. Okay, switch between the two, a little bit smaller. Something around that should do. Okay. So there we go. Now our character runs around, but he can't jump because he doesn't know what the ground is. To let him know what the ground is, we're going to go and we're going to go add an empty. Okay, we're going to go put it at his feet. Just grab him back. There we go. We're going to call this one ground check. And we're going to put that on our character. And now we click play. He'll jump. Oh, he still needs the animation, okay? So we need to go and put this jump state. So we're going to go and add a boolean, and we're going to call this one ground. Okay, there we go. And we're going to make this go from any state, so it can transition no matter where it is from here into jump. So long as, we're just going to change that right down. So long as ground is equal to false. And then we're going to make a transition back to idle, so long as ground is equal to true. Take that off. Okay, and now you should be able to jump. There we go. So now our character can move around. He's still got a little bit of a transition here, so we're just going to go and expand the settings. I'm just going to take the transition duration down to 0. And now when he lands, he should just land straight away. Okay, bit of a snapping. If you wanted to, you could go and animate a landing sequence, but this is good enough. Okay, so now our character's running around our world. And there we go, that's better. So it's actually a nice character controller. Okay, so now we have a workable game. Okay, so that is how you get a character from ToonBoom into Unity.